One strength of SpeedGrade is the ability to take the look and feel from one clip and apply it to another clip, to match clips. And that can be done automatically or manually. The automatic clip matching feature inside SpeedGrade works pretty darn well. So in this lesson, I want to show you how to do the automatic approach to clip matching. And in a separate lesson, I'll show you a couple of manual methods to match clips. To follow along, open up SpeedGrade, click on Open Project, go to the Premiere Pro projects inside Working Files, and then open up SG Match. Click Open. What we have here are a bunch of clips that we're going to use as reference clips and a bunch of clips we want to fix. So this is a reference clip. It looks good. We want to change that one, which is not quite so good. It's a reference clip, one we're going to fix. Reference clip, a couple of clips that we're going to fix there, another reference clip, and a couple of clips we want to fix. Go back to the beginning here. Now this automatic clip matching process is just a little bit counterintuitive, and also the nomenclature is not quite the way I think it should be, so I'll explain both here in a second. To do clip matching, you first need to change the view in the monitor here to 2 clips, not just one. You do that by clicking on 2 up. When you click on 2 up, another playhead is added down here. If I drag one to the right, you'll see that one. It says number 1, and it's orange, meaning it's the master playhead. Number 2 here is not the master, but you can make it the master by turning it on like that. Now just a couple things about these playheads. Obviously I can move them along together like this, which is sometimes convenient, but sometimes not. I can turn off this feature by clicking that little triangle there, and now it's off. They'll behave separately now independently. If I decide I want to get rid of one of the playheads, I can drag it out of the timeline. And I do that by dragging this little arrow out of the timeline. Now notice, when I drag this one out of the timeline, it won't work. I'll go up there and it turns to a red X indicating that you can just let it go and it'll go away, but it doesn't. That's because it's currently the master playhead. If I make this one the master playhead and drag this one out now, away it goes. And when I do that, it shuts down this 2-up view. Now I can add another playhead without making this a 2-up by just dragging this and holding down the control of the Command key. Command key in Mac will do the same thing. Now I have 2 playheads, but I don't have a 2-up view. So I'm going to switch back to a 2-up view. And in a 2-up view, this little button is active, the so-called Match Look to Master Playhead button. Now that terminology, Match Look to Master Playhead, is kind of confusing in my point of view. What you're going to do really is you're going to take a look from a source clip and apply it to a target clip. Let me show you how that works. I'm going to take a playhead, doesn't matter which one it is, in this case it's number 2, and drag it to the left. And notice the number 2 playhead moves the left-hand screen. It's kind of confusing, a little counterintuitive. Number 2 is on the left, number 1 is on the right. And I want to take number 2 to have it hover over the clip that I want to use as my source. Then I take the number 1 playhead, I want to make sure it's the master playhead. Over here that's the master now, but now number 1 is the master. And I want to have it hover over the clip I want to apply the look to. Now in this case, the adjustment layer is selected. I'm going to select the clip instead. If I turn off this little arrow here so they can be independent, if I move this guy, notice that it turns on clips as it goes along. When the master head is turned down like that, it then switches other clips on as it gets under them like that. Okay, we'll get back to this guy. And what I want to do now is take the look of this clip and apply it to that clip. And to do that, I simply click on this little button over here. But before I click on that button, I want to explain something. There's a bug inside my version of SpeedGrade. That bug may be gone by the time you watch this movie, but I want to make sure you're aware of it in case it's not. When I click on this, this clip should change its appearance to that appearance there, but it won't. But internally, it is. You'll watch these 2 scopes here, and they will change as if something has happened, but it's happened internally, not on the screen, and not officially to this layer. But when I click on here, it's going to make the big change here, and it's going to add a layer down here. So watch what happens. I click on that, the scopes change, this layer shows up, but in fact, nothing happens here. Delete this new layer. Make sure it's active, which it should be by default, and click on the little garbage can, and it's gone. And then go back and click on that little button again, and voila, the change takes place. And boy, is that ever close. I mean, really close to getting it right. Notice the little difference in the colors of the shirts there. So it's not perfect, but the tonality certainly is very close, and the color is very close. And so now you would take a manual method to try to get this thing to match up really, really well. But for getting an initial step like this, that's pretty good. All right, let's move on down the line to the next set of clips. This is the one we want to fix. And this one over here will be our source. And I'm thinking this might be just a little on the green side. So I'm going to change it first. So I'm going to click on this clip. Even though it's not the master playhead, I can still click on the clip to make it active. I want to go down here and just do a little bit of repair work. So I'm going to take some of the green out. So I'm going to pull away from the green a little bit toward red, like that, just to make a little change. And now it'll look at this look and apply that look to that clip. All right, so I need to make this clip active again by clicking there. I'm going to go from this clip, one where this playhead is over, and apply this look, this source, to this target over here. I click on this little button, and it's going to apply the previous look. It's not going to work. That bug is going to kick in. It's applying the look from the previous clip. That's not the look we want. I'm going to delete this guy and try it again. And this time it gets it right. So just be aware of that little issue. All right, let's move on down the line again. I'll go to this vineyard. I'm going to use this vineyard as the source. This vineyard's the target. I click you again. It applies the wrong one. I delete this. I click it again. And bingo. Man, that is about as close as you can get to being exactly the same. Very close. So now I want to fix this one, a completely different color. I'm going to use this again as the source. We haven't moved that playhead. Click on the button. It applies the previously applied look, which is not what we want. We delete it and apply it again. And bingo, it gets it right this time. And so close. I mean, look at the color of the buildings there. Pretty much matches up. The color of the whole vineyard looks very similar. Let's go down here a little bit farther. Well, you see that it doesn't quite work in this one. Go to the dining room here. This is our source again. We're going to take this source and apply it to this target over there. Click on this button. It's going to apply the wrong one. It's going to apply the previous one that was applied to the vineyard. Not what we want. Delete that one by pressing the garbage can or just pressing the delete key. Click the button again. And we got it, except it's not exactly the kind of contrast we want. If you look over at the waveform monitor, you see that we're not down to 0 there. It's not dark enough. And we're way down below 100 IRE there, 100%. So we need to fix this to have that match that, but it's pretty close. We could fix this pretty easily. Now notice that the auto color match has no controls here. You can't fix that. But you can go back to the primary layer here and make your fixes. So I would go to offset there and pull this one down like so. I would go to gain and lift it up like so. And that would bring it actually pretty close to in line with this clip now. Didn't take much to get that thing lined up. Okay, let's go on down to the last clip here. And again, it's going to take the previous look. Click on this little button to apply the look from here to there. It's going to apply the wrong one. I delete that. Try it again. And this time it nailed it. I mean, I look at this one and look at that one, and I see nothing obviously different. And so this automatic approach to clip matching or look matching inside SpeedGrade works very well, such that most times you won't need to do anything to adjust the clip after you've done some automatic clip matching, and other times you might need to do just a little bit of work to make that match perfect.